All right, welcome to the Buffalo Plus channel. Mike Catalana. I'm not Dan Fates. I'm Jenna Cottrell. We're here in Buffalo. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out so much. We're back to practice here again. Training camp picking up once again. Who are some of the guys that you thought had a nice practice today?
Well, let's start with the quarterback. I know this is getting repetitive here, but I'm going to mention that Josh Allen looked really sharp again today. They were doing some things at the end of practice, just working on some situational things, but at the beginning, watching him zip the ball around. And the guy I wanted to mention was Emmanuel Sanders, and what a difference it makes. Sanders been out a few days. We missed him at the scrimmage, did not participate. He jumped right back in and looked really good today.
He really did. Now, he was out with that injury. He came back today, though. He looked like he was always open. We saw a couple of really nice passes from Josh to him, some nice catches from Emmanuel Sanders. There was also another nice catch that we saw today. Isaiah Hodgins in the corner of the end zone. Josh Allen put that ball on a rope.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Hodgins has got to do things or show flashes. This is a tough wide receiver room to break into. Absolutely. And he's coming off missing all of last season. He's hit on that deep ball a few times. Now, we don't know. We're going to have the preseason games coming up. This is where Hodgins will really have to shine. But he's a bigger target. He can run down the field, and he's making those catches. And I think that is where he can show this team there's a future for him, whether he's on the active roster this year or not.
And it's all about those types of guys making those types of plays, those flashes. And a guy that I saw flash today was Cam Lewis. Yeah. He was able to strip the ball away from Isaiah McKenzie in coverage. That's a guy who needs plays like that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year in a few moments during the season where Cam Lewis would make a play, and you start to get excited about it. Look, it's the same kind of thing with Dane Jackson at times, you know, where you start to say, is he going to be the guy? And it's about being consistent. But that play today opened up some eyes. I'm going to go back to the things that Micah Hyde said. Now, I know he's been around a little bit, but that is the kind of play what Hyde says, when a guy makes a play, then I know who he is. Yep. Well, today, Cam Lewis has been around, but everybody was looking, and Isaiah, who makes plays all the time, had a play made on him today. Very impressive by Cam.
And you know who else we kind of saw today? Was Dion Dawkins. Now, Dion Dawkins had tested positive for COVID earlier on in the season. He's been in the protocols. He was not practicing out there today, but we saw him on the sidelines wearing a mask. And that was the first time we had seen him.
Yeah, he walked out, again, just T-shirt and shorts. My impression was, look, I'm not going to speak for Dion. At some point, we'll get a chance to talk to him. But my impression was this is the first time he's seen his teammates in those few weeks during the protocols, and they hadn't seen him. Walked out there. It was good to see him. You know, again, just guessing. Looks like he's dropped a little weight. Look, have all the thoughts you want about where we are in COVID, but it obviously has impacted him being gone for 2+ weeks and not being ready to get out on the field yet. Hopefully it's a quick transition for him. You know, he's going to need to get his endurance up. He's going to need to get his strength back. But as a guy, a very popular, very important guy, we want to see him back, and this is a step. Seeing him out on the field, a step to seeing Dion return.
When he was walking out, we all saw him, all the media. We're like, Dion, how you doing? He just gave the thumbs up. He gave the Josh Allen thumbs up. So, again, good to see him out on the sidelines, but he was not practicing. But that's something that we'll be watching as the season continues to unfold.
Yeah, and without Dion out there and a couple other offensive linemen, Mitch Morris wasn't playing today. The D-line got after it. I noticed Ed Oliver twice, just bull rushing. And by the way, Sean McDermott, quick whistle again. Yeah. You get near 17, look, he's wearing red, quick whistle, quick whistle. Yeah. That's what you're going to end up doing. But, you know, Ed Oliver, I mean, I'm sorry. I know they got some talent on this offensive line, but Ed Oliver just destroyed them on a few plays. Good to see him making those flash plays, too. That's what they're going to need out of him.
And there was another defensive lineman today that we got to learn even more about, and his story is incredible.
Faye Obado was great in the news conference, and you'll get a chance to see that on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. He's got a tremendous background. I mean, he grew up nowhere near football. His family was part of a human trafficking ring to London. I mean, think about that. Yeah. He eventually got involved in football as a way out in Europe. And then he comes here, played for the Panthers. Extremely interesting guy. But I tell you what, a football player too, a guy who got to the quarterback as much as any Bills player did last year with sacks. He's going to be an important part of this defensive line. His backstory is great, but as he said, he's more than that, and he's thinking more about the football part of it next.
Yeah, we're in the football portion of it, but I do want to mention, because this is too incredible not to talk about, we were talking with him about at the news conference about his background and everything, and he's been able to take up football so quickly. Why don't you explain it?
Yeah, I said, man, was there any other sports that you thought you could do or wanted to do? And he said, Yeah, I thought about UFC, and then he said, but I'm too pretty for that. And you know what? He is. He's beautiful. Faye Obado is that guy. Tremendous athlete, funny, got the British accent, popular guy with his teammates, was a popular guy in Carolina, popular guy with the coaches. But that's in large part because he can play.
Yes.
He is not a project. He's not even like, you know, when you think of Christian Wade trying to make it, coming over at a little later time and making it as a running back. Talking about a guy who's already been through that and already played and had success in the NFL. So he's going to be a player on this defensive line. And, yeah, no UFC for him right now.
Yeah, too pretty. I love that. It's so funny. Also, we should mention it is very hot and humid in Buffalo today. You could see some of the players, some of the guys going to the training room, you know, the wet towels over their heads when they had a second to take a break, taking a knee. I mean, for us, we were just battling through on the sidelines, just standing there. I'm kidding. But still, at the same point, that is something that we joke about because we were almost like maybe they should call practice a little early. But at the same point, that is something they need to prepare for.
You know, it's funny. Ross Tucker, who's been on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel with us, former Bills lineman, NFL player, was talking about going to training camp now as a guy who's retired. And he said, I'm sweating. I'm standing on the sidelines. It's hot. You're on your feet the whole time. And he goes, I can't even imagine or remember what it was like to be 50 pounds heavier, wearing all that equipment and the helmets. Look, it's a game. They're out there for a few hours. These guys are in great shape. But we're talking about the impact it has day after day. So sometimes when you hear guys get a day off or they get a day, it is a battle wearing that equipment and being out in the heat. Now, they have to prepare for that. But it's not as simple as just, you know, going outside playing 9 holes of golf.
All right, the Bills have practice again here tomorrow. Now, later on in this week, they have their first preseason game of the summer in Detroit.
In a dome.
In a
where
dome.
it's air-conditioned.
That's looking mighty nice right now. All right, be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel.
And we have Instagram.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Buffalo Plus _, so be sure to check that out. For Mike, I am Jenna. We appreciate you watching. We'll catch you next time on the Buffalo Plus channel.